So welcome to another episode of Rebel City Podcast. This week's guest is Graeme Armstrong. How's it going, Graeme? Thanks for coming in, mate.
No, my pleasure, mate. Thanks for having us.
I know you're a busy guy.
Oh, nonsense.
As we said in the build-up, ordinarily anybody that listens to the show every week will know that we usually give the first sort of 5-10 minutes out to the guest just to introduce themselves in their own terms. But I think you'd probably have to have been living in a cave for like the last fortnight if you're in and around the Glasgow area to know have heard of Graeme and the book he's in promoting the young team. So, Graeme, how's it going, mate?
Really well, mate. Not to give the classic intro, but my name's Graeme Armstrong. My book's The Young Team, and it's based on my experiences Airdrie and Coatbridge gang culture in the noughties. I wrote this book when I was in my first weeks of withdrawal in 2013. I stopped using drugs on Christmas Day and basically replaced one addiction for another. You know, I started writing this, and I remember the first time I went to start and write it, I sat down and I wrote The Young Team, and I went, this is going to be Sweet 16, this is going to be a film I'm going to write, this is going to be a script, a screenplay. And then I went on Wikipedia, and after about 15 minutes I was like, oh, fuck this shit. I was like, fuck this shit, this is not for me, man. I was in quite a frustrated state anyway, you know what I mean? And that's just like slug lines and internal, external, and I was like, this is just killing.
It's a hard one, that, in a lot of respects, because, and again, there's been the obvious comparison in some of the stuff we've read about Irvine Welsh and that, and I remember I had a go at writing a book in very similar circumstances. Coming out of uni, it was shocking, it was terrible, but like, I always thought to myself, I can't like smoke a joint and write a chapter. And I was reading guys like Irvine Welsh who were claiming to write entire books while they were after face on smack. And you're like, not to say that he's a liar or anything like that, but I'm like, as a thought process, like that recovery is so like intense and within itself already that to then try to make sense of it in writing is almost like you're doubling down on yourself a wee bit.
100%. Like for me, like I was in a really, like, see when you say, oh, I was a drug addict, people assume you were on hard drugs. Like they assume you're a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? But like we were smoking 50 pound of cannabis a day, we were taking blues, do you know what I mean? We were drinking like ridiculous amounts, like everybody, just the normal, the rest of Scotland. But when you try and stop all that, after, 8 or 9 years of doing it every single day, you've got a problem.
Definitely.
And that was, something that me and my mates, we'd go on cycles. Like one of us would stop smoking green, and then the other ones would try and we'd do it. But see, when people say, oh, it's only green and that, but we got like physical symptoms as well. Like my eyes used to go blurry and all that. And but it was just purely because the stuff when they were talking about cannabis, it wasn't the stuff we were smoking. We were smoking the new super strength stuff,
the skunk and all
the rest of it, you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm an open advocate and user of cannabis, but when I talk to people, a lot of people, they either question my own personal use, and they'll think, do you have a problem? And it comes down to, I always say this one thing, it's about the individual.
Yeah.
Like, is it impacting your life? Like, everybody will have their vices, so see, unless it's impacting your life negatively, then you don't have a problem. But see, when you're smoking 50 quid a day and you don't make 50 quid a day, you've got a fucking problem. But
absolutely, 50 quid a day on anything, you've got a problem.
Well,
honestly,
so.
Unless you're earning a few quid, which we weren't at the time. Like,
exactly.
John Mackay on Scotland Tonight asked me, how did you fund it? And I kind of laughed and I went, I beg, borrow, steal. But the reality was, mate, that we lived on about a 10 or 12 quid's worth of food. Like, me and my mate used to buy a breakfast pack and laugh because we lived all week on like a fry up every night, and that was the only meal we ate a day, and the rest of our money went to drugs. It was ridiculous.
I've got to say, I remember the days where I've got like 4 slices of chopped pork in the fridge. I can buy another quarter of green.
I'd get into my mum's and she'd pack me a wee like bag for life, like soup and all that, and do you know what I mean? You were living like a heroin addict basically, even though you weren't taking it, but that was a life, And
I think the word addict, that you're living like an addict,
absolutely.
I mean, we spoke to many different addictions, and one of the huge ones that's coming out right now is, and unlike gambling, and you talking to people that have got jobs that are earning 30, 40, 50 grand a year, and they're spending that much on putting football coupons on every day, horsey, then it just escalates. But you end up like an addict, and I think that is what sort of defines it. And when people think about addiction, people think about drug addicts, like you're saying. It's always been heroin, and but now you see people that are spending so much money at the weekend on coke, and then try to go back and live a normal life Monday to Friday. They can't actually function.
What is generating that high in your body, whether it be shopping or whether it be gambling, whether it be weed, whether it be coke, whatever it is, if your body is dependent on that thing to feel good, for you to feel good about yourself, then you are an addict, whether there's, that sort of physical withdrawal or no. And I think as well, when you talk about being such a young guy in the company of other young sort of grown men, like, those are your formative years, like, picking up those habits and no actually dealing with them in the manner that you have subsequently is like a really dangerous thing. And I think it's something that we see. They talk about, fucking we'd been a gateway drug, right? I don't believe that, but at the same time, there is people that has been the case for. You know what I mean? Where that has led to harder things.
Trauma's a gateway drug, isn't it? Like, yes, fuck, man, if people are having to disconnect for life to escape trauma, whether it be through cannabis, whether it be through whatever, then they're ultimately going to end up like moving on to harder things. But
for me, right, like, I've got quite an anti-drug stance, by the way, and that's not out of prejudice, and it's certainly not out of judgment that people use drugs. It's purely because I was one of the people that were playing Russian roulette, and I got the chamber with the loaded bullet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I suffered, my mental health really suffered because of smoking cannabis. So if you ask me if I think cannabis is safe, I'd say no.
Absolutely.
And then if you say, do you think I should legalise it, I would say no. And absolutely. But that's not to say that there isn't different schools of thought. Because look at, like, when we talk about safe consumption rooms, right? And David Nutt was the academic. He was one of the leading chemists. It was one of the drug advisors. And he came out and said that ecstasy and cannabis are more safe than alcohol, and he lost his job for it back in the day. And that was a real moment when they said, this is not the advocate of the war on drugs that we need leading our policy. But what he was saying is that alcohol is much more dangerous as a substance. Draconian drugs laws aside. There is schools of thought, you know what I mean?
The hypocrisy that exists within that war on drugs is it's insane. It's absolutely insane. It's about, for me, it's a war on people in different classes of people.
Yes.
Like, if you want to go and enjoy a whiskey, or, I mean, we've spoke to MPs where they talk about how they go for a drink after Parliament, right? So they're not going to... exactly. I pished out their... I mean, some of them, when you see the videos of some of the politicians in Westminster...
Some of them have been a bit the worst for a while.
Or even worse, I think, and even worse hypocrisy is prescription drugs.
Yep.
Well, they're on whatever their prescription drug of choice, but when it comes to the working class drugs of, like, what has been since the 80s, which has been sort of cannabis
and party drugs
and party drugs, ecstasy, cocaine, they go absolute balls out. But I think that everything can be addictive. Like, I was 100% addicted to food at one point in time. It was just me I was just escaping that feeling of, like, emptiness inside through consuming food. But for me, like, personally, and I would never ever be an advocate for cannabis. I know I just said that. I'm an advocate for my own cannabis use, because I know that I've got it under control.
Your personal
Somebody
choice.
said to me, like, do you think I should smoke? It's like, well, why do you want to? And, like, that's such a deep question. And I completely understand why there's people that exist out there that are like, this has damaged the mental health. I mean, you see it in young people, you hear about people that are like, my son was normal, started smoking hash or started smoking cannabis, and then turned into something that is unrecognisable. That absolutely happens.
It does.
That happens. But that, again, like you're saying, that happens with alcohol and stuff. But
drink's a big one, especially at the young age.
I'm teetotal, right? And I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic, right? But that doesn't mean I wasn't. You know what I mean? Because I don't say I was. What is an alcoholic? Is that somebody that sits in under the bridge, or is it somebody who anytime they drink gets in some state? Because I was that guy.
I think it's somebody that lives for the drink.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And as a youngster, you did, didn't you?
You could be a weekend drinker and still be a problematic drinker. I think in this country we don't understand. I've got an Italian family, and when we were out with them, the young ones, none of them got pissed. None of them are rolling about the ground. None of them are fighting. It's a cultural... They almost treat drink as food, and it's secondary to company and social. Like we get to drink and we see our pals as a byproduct of that. They go out to see their pals and they drink as a byproduct of it. And it's that cultural shift,
The difference between a couple of glasses of wine at a family dinner and you and your mates, as you say, up the local parkway. But let's go with the tonic, because that's the one that always gets called out in these sort of young team scenarios.
I was a massive wine drinker, and I've been asked a few times recently, would you ban Buckfast? Was it that fault? And I was attacked with Buckfast bottles. I've got scars on my body for Buckfast bottles, but I don't blame Buckfast, because if it wasn't Buckfast, it would be vodka. Vodka's rocket fuel compared to it's 40%, 15%. It's just Buckfast. It's a cultural emblem.
Vodka Red Bull surely has got to be as damaging, if not worse, and the caffeine rate of Buckfast. But I find that a strange sort of argument when people talk about these things and are like, should we ban If we get any history of looking back and going, when we've banned something that's led to a positive impact and that, look at going back to the war on drugs, that's been devastating, absolutely fucking devastating to communities and the damage that's done to people, like turning people into criminals, ending up in the prison system because they go and they buy 20 quid worth of whatever drug it is and go and take it in a flat.
The narrative underneath that, right? If you look at America right now, cannabis they've realised that it's a commodity, it's really valuable.
They can control it now.
They can control it, they can tax it, they can sell it for profit, and take personal choice or morality or any of those debates outside, the Americans have realised that they can sell this shit, they can make a lot of money, and it can, the kids love it basically, and it's not going to be Holland where everybody's dead sensible, people are going mad for this stuff, and now you've got envoys MPs going out to get involved, Tory party MPs going out to explore cannabis.
Somebody told the truth on Channel 4 News about a year ago, and this is one of the very few times that you see in mainstream media where somebody just goes balls out and tells the truth. Where they had an American guy like satelliting in and they were asking him about the cannabis industry, and they were saying, what's the likelihood that it will get legalised in the UK? And he was like, without a shadow of a doubt it will. And they're like, how can you say that for America? And he went, because the banks are now involved and the hedge funds are now involved. Correct. And soon Tesco are going to start lobbying your government to make it legal because they can see the billions that they're making in profit across the globe. And that is the reality.
The more interesting things, like what's the actual hidden narrative that they'll say, what's the reason they'll give for it? They're not going to come out and say we want to make profit off.
We've killed them because we want more money. No, they're not going to say that.
We don't invade, the Middle East for oil.
It's like,
do you know what I mean? It's for
we don't like Muslims and we want that oil. No, there's something else into it.
So I'm interested. That's the more interesting one for me is the reason. The reasonage they give. Because
do you think that we should regulate? No, I mean take the tax. Like, let's just forget about the tax dollars and the tax cash that we can get for it. But do you think that we should regulate and distribute safely any drug, so like cocaine or ecstasy? Like MDMA is starting to get
there've been
massive amounts of
more grown-up conversations and a wee bit more education run about the time where I was sitting round the back of the local post office smoking fucking shitey soap bar and doing like smoking cans and whatever else. Then maybe it would have allowed me to make a more sensible choice sooner. You know what I mean? Maybe it would have allowed other people to make the same with drink as well. You know what I mean?
It comes down to a moral argument, right? Because see, if you put the bare facts on the table, right? If your son or daughter's going to go and use illegal ecstasy tablets at a rave, would you rather they were safe or would you rather they were dangerous? Now, no parent in this whole land would say, no, I'd rather they were dangerous. Right, however, if you reframe that question and say, do you think it's moral that people take ecstasy tablets? They would say absolutely not. But it's a different debate, do you know what I mean? And I think that's where other countries and are more progressive than us, and we need to really look at the result of our draconian attitudes and say, like, people are dying because of substance abuse. And yet, Darren McGarvey talks beautifully about how these are a forgotten population, and they're not part of the electorate, and they're not part, they're a forgotten, they're a voiceless demograph. So, who cares what they think? Or, and who cares about their fate?
They're not voting for us, so fuck them.
Exactly.
And I think there has been elements of that in recent years.
I think absolutely. Do you know what I mean? So I think, like, regardless of our own moral views, I think we need to look at the outcomes of the current drugs policy, which is obviously, Scotland is one of the most dangerous places to be a drug addict in the whole world.
Absolutely.
Almost as many people died in Scotland per 6 million as died on our roads for 65 million people.
That's crazy.
When you look at these, more drug addicts died in Scotland in 2018, 1 year alone, than were killed in combat. Was killed in Afghanistan and Iraq. And
so it's more dangerous to be
a drug addict
in Scotland than it is to be an American soldier in Afghanistan.
For how many,
like that
kind of thing.
Crazy.
I know, it's just like, it's mad.
Where's the priority?
And this is not a new thing, because I know your book talks from a kind of noughties perspective onwards, sort of millennium onwards.
Yeah.
But like, we're probably your experiences maybe 10 years back on that. Growing up in like Carntine, Ridley, Hag Hill, these places and stuff like that. And like, what I've seen and heard of your experience in the build up to this is no dramatically different. Doesn't it feel that although this is a long term issue, there's really been much change on it?
I don't think there's been much seismic shift. I think legal highs, right, was the big one. And that changed the whole theatre of taking drugs in Scotland and probably all over. Because when I was smoking cannabis at the end, it was talking about sprayed green, and you were getting bad quality green, and it was hard to get good stuff, so the price driven up, right? So we were in drugs poverty because of that, But then legal highs come out, and then your real drugs, you know, if you want to call them real drugs, illegal drugs, but they remarketed, you know. So then now kids talk about pure and they talk about Mandy, whereas we talk about £2 wedgers and we talked about free for a like shite council Charlie, you know what I mean? So like, and I was doing drugs ed in a school, and I was doing a talk to the wee guys, and the first thing I said is, you guys are the experts. You guys are out on Friday night. You're buying drugs. You know, some of you are selling drugs. You know, I've not taken drugs for 8 years, so you guys are the experts, and everything that I can tell you is out of date. All I can give you is a reflection of what it was then, you know, and where I've been. It's a cautionary tale, you know what I mean? But it's all, you know, it's always out of date. And I went on to tell them, you know, when I was your age, they were telling us about heroin addiction and telling us about AIDS crisis, because that was 10 years before. And it takes, you know, the videos were about 8 years old, 10 years old. You know, it was the 90s, and it was our older ones who were heroin addicts, you know. So it's you know, how do you fix that? I don't know. Because you can't, it takes time to put the infrastructure in to get education. You know what I mean? To get solid information.
That's the main thing, isn't it? It's information. Like, they can get it. You can get it straight for consumption to telling people what's going on now within days.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go back to 98, 97, 98.
It was a video in school you watched.
We didn't even get that. I don't even remember getting that.
No.
I mean, my cautionary tale.
Very much in like just say no territory all the time.
I mean, the cautionary tale. The cautionary tale that came for me was watching the generation that came before me in quarantine literally getting killed off and dying
of AIDS, you know what I mean, and shit like that.
I think I was overdoses. Sounds bad, but I think I was fortunate enough to actually see some peers good in that road, and you know, mates that who I know a guy, and I'll no name him, where I lived in Airdrie. We were almost a kind of culmination of several different areas, and I know where you were up in Carntine, it was all about Carntine and the Powery, Highkill, whereas in Airdrie there was Tolcross, there was Shuttleton, there was Carntine, there was Highkill, there was Blackhill, there was Ricasey, there was Cranhill, and we were just in the middle of it, you know what I mean? Like, and you've seen a lot of shit, and like, I remember one guy that was in the year above me at school, and he was a bit of a dick. He was a bit mouthy, but he was like harmless. One of the guys that he just was like, "Aye, all right, mate," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember going out with my mates one day, kicking a ball out in the back garden, out in the back street or whatever, and somebody was like, "Oh, this guy got lifted." And what the fuck's he done this time? Oh, he put a machete in somebody's head in the middle of fucking Ricasey Road. And I was like, whoa, like, that was an escalation for somebody who days before I'd been kicking a ball about with, or had been bamming up in school or whatever it was. And I knew that he smoked, and I knew that he took a drink, we all did. But like, that next step to like the actual violence was something that was really alien to me, and was one of the sort of things that put me off going sort of further down that road. But there's a lot of folk that, you know what I mean, they don't get that warning shot, you know what I mean?
Like just what Paul said when we come in, right? Like, trauma's a drug. Do you know what I mean? And if you want to actually, you know, examine the physiological effects of trauma on your brain, it changes your chemical balance in your brain. You know, you become more violent, you become more aggressive, you become more prone to stress and mental health. So, you know, was that guy a victim before he was, you know, in a guilty party? You know, and I think that's often the case.
Aye, absolutely. You know what I mean, I know the guy that he's talking about just through the description, and my lasting memory of this guy was that he was a victim in school.
Yeah.
And then I can remember that moment as well.
It's almost like he was trying to prove himself or something.
Yeah.
It might well have been, but I can remember that moment when somebody's saying he's in Ballinny and going like, what happened? And then telling you what had happened.
Yeah.
And no seen the guy for maybe like 6 or 7 years and just thinking, what the fuck has happened to this guy? How can you go for being that guy that I knew in primary school to being somebody that's getting done for attempted murder and doing like actual
you can be a victim before you're born, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when all men are born equal, well, I think in deprived communities we know that's absolutely not true, you know.
Yeah.
If we see the split in school, you know, we see kids that come from hell, you know, and quite often people conflate gangs with poverty, and it's not always the case, by the way, because oftentimes the worst of the worst, you know, the ones that were really bad, you know, they didn't actually run about with gangs because they couldn't afford Lacoste trackies and they couldn't afford Air Maxes. You know, they were the forgotten kids. You know, and it was the young lassies that were going with a guy who was 35, you know, called Davey for fucking, you know what I mean, here or there. But you know what I mean?
It just reminds me exactly.
I know, but you know what I mean?
4 or 5 people just
and then she was pregnant, you know, at 16 with Davey's Wayne, and she left school, you know, and you never seen her again. And now she's got 5 Waynes.
Yep.
And Davey's fucking in the jail.
That's,
you know, but that's, you know, that's, they weren't gang members.
No.
You know, we had a false spectrum, and I've said this very phrase that gangs weren't means tested. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had people who, parents didn't work. We had people's parents that were professionals. One of my mates, mum and dad, one was a head teacher, one was a police officer. He was, in the same cells as I was. He was,
Was there any running sort of themes amongst the people? Because I had a mate as well who, his dad, we're going back to the time when if your dad was a taxi driver, you were amongst the privileged few. Like, they owned the house. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, like, if you were to say to somebody that's maybe like a teenager nowadays that taxi driver used to be a really fucking good job, they'd be like, you kidding on? Like, you can barely make ends meet being a taxi driver nowadays. But this guy's dad was a taxi driver. He'd a stepmum, he'd a sister, stable, stayed in Rob Royston, which is a nice area in the East End, within the East End. And this guy was one of the worst at going out and fighting and like carrying a knife and stuff. And like, it hasn't been until very recently, speaking to people like James Docherty and Loki, that you get this sort of thought of like, what happened to him? There must have been something that happened to this guy young.
My stories,
everything.
My stories like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't come for a scheme. I stayed in a bought house. Do you know what I mean? My mum and dad were in the military. Right, my dad died, unfortunately, when I was a wee boy, natural causes. He died of cancer, right? So then there's my adverse childhood, there's my ACE, you know what I mean? Adverse childhood experience. And that's me. I was fine, had a perfect childhood, no drama, obviously. Probably the signs were there, because I used to get in trouble in school and all that. You're wired a wee bit differently, you know what I mean? You're a wee bit more prone to violence, fighting. And then when you're a teenager and you go into the mix, and it was going into Airdrie Academy for me, you go off your nut. And then you dye your hair and you wear earrings and you start wearing a Burgos jacket, and then that's you. There's no stopping you. It's an ascension.
Absolutely.
And I always talk at that. It's like you're a rocket on the way up.
Aye.
I would say I think not a traditional Glasgow rocket.
Probably aspirational being that.
Maybe, but
I think there is some folk that is, by the way. You know what I mean? Especially people, and I don't know if I always felt it, but again, we were the boat house, 2.4 children, traditional family. I would say I was probably the cunt standing at the back watching a lot of shit going on rather than actually getting involved in too much. Like, I like to drink.
Yeah.
I would defend myself.
Of course.
But I wouldn't say I was the instigator a lot, and I was one of the ones very much on the periphery. But as I say, as these major incidents came, that escalation, that, rocket up, dropped off. Yeah. Thankfully, a relatively early stage for me. But
when you look at people, why they dropped off, it's often a partner, right? It's often children, it's often a career or employment or sport, job. And it's actually just it's fucking the wholesome stuff in life, do you know what I mean? And it's like, this isn't some kind of like, secret formula that all our parents just got that we didn't get, you know what I mean? They just met somebody, fell in love, had wains, not always in that order, you know what I mean? And then, settled down, they just do their messages every week, they go on holidays, they save up for stuff, they get motors, that's life, folks. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's the ones that fall through the cracks, they don't realise that.
I think it's that lack of something meaningful to sort of fill your time with is definitely something that comes up a lot when people critique why these things happen or why people take to it and stuff like that. Like,
as and like when we look at people and their lives fall apart, you know what I mean? Like, trauma is like a snowball, and when you start all this stuff, there isn't trauma. I didn't even what's mental health? People used to say like, smoking green makes you paranoid. You know what I mean? Well, what we actually are talking about is like general anxiety, and I think that starts quite soon, and people realise that, but I don't know, I think the worst of the worst.
I think it helps when you're in a scenario where, as James said when he was on, like, you're constantly like one eye over your shoulder.
Of course.
Even in the company or what would have been your mates or your gang, like, there was as much likelihood on a Friday night with a few swallows in you that one of your mates took a swing at you as there was somebody for the next area.
And that feeds into like toxic masculinity and all that, because like people say in the West Coast that we like bamming each other up. Like, we had American mates and they said, you and your mate in uni do slag each other, and I said, I know, but that's like what we do you know what I mean? It's that affection. But see, actually, no, everybody's built that way, and actually see, even though they put up that front, they go home and think, fuck, I'm getting bullied off all my best pals, you know what I mean? I'm getting hunted off all these other gangs, you know what I mean? My head's fucked with drugs, and my mum and dad hate each other. So.
That's exactly, although my mum and dad hate me, I wouldn't quite say hate, but that's kind of like where I was. I can remember being in that sort of like space of, like, I didn't like that banter. I didn't like I was bigger when I was younger, and my name name was Pie Man.
Yeah.
But that's what people used to just call me. It wasn't like a slagging. It was literally my nickname. And then you'd another dude that was this and it was that. And like you're saying, it's almost like a term of endearment. But to me, I hated it. I fucking hated it, man. And it made me really fucking angry, and then that would make me almost like Matt's saying, you'd want to fight with your pals because you've just get this sort of like tiny wee resentment for them just through that sort of like...
Your best pals can be your fucking worst enemies. They make your life fucking miserable.
Because they know how to get at you.
That's it, you know what I mean?
Keep
and like,
you down.
you know, and we laugh it off because that's part of the culture, you know, but our culture obviously produces quite damaged young guys, you know what I mean? And like violent young men.
Aye, and not on a small scale either.
Nah, like, and I've spent time down south, and I know people down south, and I think we are naturally slightly tougher, you know, and I think we're like, the way we're built, and like so more ruthless and more vicious, do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know why that is, you know, but I think it's just part of our like Scottish culture, and we almost wear it like a fucking brooch, do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I think in No Means City, Glasgow, there's razor gangs in the 70s, and you know, as we were growing up, like these were the, you know, probably like the first adult books we read, you know what I mean? Although we'd have been at schools or maybe no been at schools as we were supposed to be. Like, I know even in gangs, a mate would be like, oh, I read the T.C. Campbell book, or I read, you know, one of these other gangstery books. I read something about the Craze. My dad gave me his book about that type of shit. And again, the examples that are being there are reinforcing this toxicity, this violence.
And we're not getting away from it because, I mean, the number one podcast in Scotland right now has got predominantly gangsters on it, and getting back to this sort of scheme idea. Now, he's doing a great job, and the guy grew up in Postal. It's all he knows, do you know what I mean? And he's made an absolute success out of it, and fair play to him for that. But it just shows you that we're not moving any further away. And
the fascination with these stories and these scenarios is still there. And again, I think that's probably reflected in, you know, what's been going on with you the last couple of weeks, because as we joked at the start, this is a very sort of Glasgow-centric kind of story. It's obviously appealing on a very, very big scale for a lot of people from Glasgow. Like my social media has been almost constantly spammed up with the book for like the last fortnight, which I've been really pleased to see.
Thank you,
and then it's not even just the people who came for the schemes, because I think just a couple of days ago, we had your book in the hands of the First Minister. So, I mean, there's a spectrum of people that, you know, you've had interest for The Guardian. That's, you know, these are sort of quite highbrow publications that are in talking about, you know, lowbrow scenarios as they would probably see it. I don't know.
100%.
You know what I mean? So it is something that appeals to everybody. You know what I mean? I don't know why that is myself, but again, you do see it in things like James and English and that. So, like, the hype, like, it's... What do you do? I mean, you're coming for, you know, a decent background, like you're first time author, and then all of a sudden, you know, Nicola Sturgeon's bigging up the book amongst what feels like a million other people. Like, how do you deal with that, man?
See, to be honest, right, like, my publicist is a really, I won't name drop her, right, but she's really, really well known. She represents some big people, right, that you would have heard of, and she said, I'm concerned about this media bubble for Graeme. You know, this is going to be really intense for him. He's a young guy, he's only 28, he's had no experience of this. I need to get him some media training, right? So what that entails is basically two guys that are broadcast journalists, and they fucking grill you, mate, for about an hour and a half, you know, and they ask you every difficult question they can think of.
Wow.
You know, and it's basically a setup like this, you know, it's some microphones, you know, it's film and stuff like that, and it's about your posture and your stance and how you are. You know, and then they fucking hammer you, mate, you know, and they go, you know, you're a criminal, you're involved in gangs and drugs, and you fucking wrote this book to make money, you know. How do you respond to that? You know, and that kind of stuff, right?
So they're going deliberately over the score.
Absolutely.
And the hope of rattling.
You know, and they ratchet it up, man, as it goes on. You know, it starts being a wee bit sharp, and then it basically goes on to a personal attack on me, do you know what I mean? But what they taught me, right, and they said, this is what politicians do, right, is that, see if I ask you how much a pint of milk is, just tell me how much a loaf of bread is, right? And he said, see the loaf of bread, right? That's your key message. And he said, what is it you hope to achieve by this book? And I said, well, I want to stop young guys dying violently. I want to stop young guys getting addicted to drugs and ruining their mental health and ruining their chances. He said, right, that's why you did this, right? He said, you know, publishing's a business, it's not a charity. You're going to, you know, somebody needs to make money for you to have this vehicle. You know, and that, you know, I'm not here to go into the ins and outs of capitalism, you know what I mean? Somebody needs to earn for that to be out there. You know, and I'll earn a couple of pounds, but it's not much, you know.
That is a very cynical sort of way of looking at it, isn't it? Is that you've lived these experiences and now you've wrote this book to make money off it, and it's like,
I know, like, and see, to be honest, it's
really,
fucking far-fetched, you know what I mean? Like, This book took me from I was 21 years old, right, to I'm 29 coming up. You know, it took a good part of 8 years. For the large part of those 8 years, I was working 7 days a week, right? I was working 6 days in a garage selling cars, which is fucking stressful.
Yeah.
And then I was coming home. I wasn't seeing many people. I was battering this book. You know, I was sacrificing my relationships with folk, no social life. Like, I wasn't sitting thinking, I'm going to make fucking, you know, £1.50 a book. You know, I'm going to be fucking rolling. That was never my, you know, I obviously understand, yes, you can make money.
Of course.
But if I make a living wage, I'll be doing well, as most writers would tell you. You know, there's a reason why writers keep writing books. It's not because they don't want to write one and then fucking go into sunset. That's unrealistic.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not a money spinner. But inside my head, I was like, the only redemption for me, right, and the only good thing that comes out of all the wasted years of doing all that shit is that if I can do this thing, you know, I've set out, and it's an impossible dream, by the way, and I knew that, see, if a young team didn't go big, it wouldn't go. You know, because you can have a great Scottish book the last 5 minutes and just disappears, you know. I knew this had to go London, you know, because people like do blogs, do the small stuff. I'm like, that's not for me, you know, this needs to go in at the top, but it doesn't go. And that takes a long time, you know. It took 300 rejections.
Wow.
300 people saying no. And by the way, maybe 20 of them said there's potential here, or, you know, do this, do that, but, you know, nobody bit until 2018. And I started this in 2013.
That's a long graft, man.
It was, mate. You know,
So
and
it was
I was like,
How do you maintain the vision for that amount of time? Because the reasons why you've done it are admirable, and I mean, you it seems like, just talking to you now and I'm thinking about it, I think you're just about to hit on that sort of special sort of brewer things that you see some musicians hit on, where what they're talking about, what they've been talking about for the last 10 years comes to the forefront just as their best material just sort of like hits. And I think that's what's happening to you. That you're just, you're on that sort of...
It's pure fate, it's timely, do you know what I mean? We've got a drug death crisis in Scotland, we've got a knife violence crisis in London. I just so happened that a girl I knew was involved with violence reduction. You know, she made the introductions. Now I'm in with the superstars, you know, with Karen McCluskey, with John Carnochan, the people who started violence reduction, you know, as a national narrative.
Absolutely.
You know, and it is a perfect storm. You know, I know you use that cliche, but
I think it's as well as we say, there is youngsters out there who do pick up, you know, the books that they feel reflect their experience or where they've came from. So there's an audience there that can benefit from your experience and your insight and your wisdom. But then that's going to be the case in terms of violence reduction, in terms of recovery, in terms of ACEs and these other things that we've spoke about. And like, you know, I'm very looking forward to getting hands on a copy myself and actually kind of relating to that as well, because I think these are the conversations that, as they're now starting to enter the public domain, now need to be reinforced with examples as to why talking about them in the right terms is actually a really important thing to do.
You know, because people have asked me, like, what good do you think this is going to be? And I actually seen a meme years ago and it said, you want to save the world, go and fucking volunteer at a soup kitchen and start fucking writing, you know. And I laughed and I thought, fuck, maybe that's me, maybe I'm, you know, this is a lot of shit. And I remember like talking to a pal at the end and she said, so what happens at the end of the book, you know? And I said, well, they have a big fucking square goal, you know what I mean, the young team win, you know, and they beat the young toy. And she said something real important to me, and I've never told anybody this. She said, see, if they fight, it's all been for nothing, right? She's like, because all you've done is reinforce the culture. You've no message, there's no moral. She's like, you know, and we were talking about train spotting. She said, train spotting's so fucking famous because it doesn't take a moral stance. It just says this is what it is, you know, and all it's pure mad filth. And it says if you don't like it, then get to fuck. But the young team does something different, you know what I mean? And it's trying to like, no lecture at all, man. Like seeing people say this, you know, it's not a lecture.
No.
Fuck's sake. I'm just taking you to the worst places I've ever been, you know, when, you know,
this
people...
is a lived experience.
It's where people committed suicide, it's where people killed, where people were murdered. The worst shit, do you know what I mean? I had to dredge my soul for that shit. Like mental health, do you know what I mean? When have you ever read about male mental health in a book, you know, for point blank range about...
And in that sort of Lanarkshire area, they know. I mean...
It's bad, mate, it's a fucking black spot.
I mean, it's the numbers of young men feeling isolated and, you know, on their own to the point where they take their own lives, and that just small sort of part of this country, it's fucking insane.
That is.
So as I mean, the numbers by comparison to head of population are terrifying.
Like, see you guys in the city, even though yes, like the schemes are, you know what I mean, you're prisoners to them schemes, but you're much more akin to jump on the train and go into the town. You know, like the town belongs to all yous, you know, and that's a neutral mixing ground. We'll see Airdrie and Coatbridge and the wee towns. These people don't go fucking into Glasgow. They just live and die in this wee pond, you know what I mean? They're like wee fish, you know what I mean? Like swimming around.
As a result, I'd imagine.
There's no mobility.
I used to be terrified getting off the fucking 13 on outside the time capsule at the guys that were stoning at that. And you're talking about that I came for statistically the roughest part of Glasgow at that point in time.
Yeah.
And you would go even deeper into the sort of the east, and it would literally, you'd be like, holy fuck, like this is ridiculous. It wouldn't even be like, so like the comparison that I'm trying to think up here is that if I walked into Airdrie or Cranhill or whatever, people would be like, who are you, where are you for?
Yeah.
Get met with sort of abrasiveness. You get off that bus, you just get chased. And they would be waiting for you at that window.
Because they knew you weren't there.
Because people say to me often, like, what gang me a member of, right? And I was like, what's that? That's another story, do you know what I mean? Because I was where I'm fae, right, which is going Mavis in Airdrie, and I was young Mavis, you know what I mean? And then I got expelled from school, and then, you know, I went down to a completely new gang violence amphitheatre, and it was fucking Coatbridge High School. Didn't know a soul, I'd heard of people, do you know what I mean? And then I didn't realise that these guys didn't speak to each other at all, do you know what I mean? This is like inner city Glasgow shit, like they did not mix, they did not blend.
Aye.
And Airdrie, it was like the fucking all-stars, do you know what I mean? All the widos hung about together. Sometimes they would fight, obviously they had their own gang violence, but actually in school it was all the dirty dozen of rogues, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Coatbridge, it was like the top guy to the wee guy, you know what I mean? They were in one corner, the other ones were in,
everybody at their own corner of the playground.
Exactly, all that shit, do you know what I mean? And they hated each other, like it was poisonous fucking hatred, like you can't speak to their fucking name if you're one of us, and if you speak to them, fuck off, do you know what I mean? That kind of shit.
It's a lot of fucking pressure, man. Like,
but it was,
when you're already...
But see, when you're 14 and you're a wee dick, it was great fun. Do you know what I mean? I was like, fuck. And then I got in with the Langone ones, which is where the time capsule is. You know what I mean? And they treated me like brothers, man.
So
like,
you chased him... you chased him out the time capsule?
No.
You would have been
a couple of years on me.
I was going to say, you would have been about 3, I think, at the time I get chased round the time capsule. But what's it... I mean, I think that there is a sort of different attitude to that. Like, I'm sitting thinking, I'd have been petrified. I would have actually been petrified in that situation, going from one school. I never experienced that. I went to my primary school, my secondary school, went to university, and that was it. What was it like for you, like, going through that sort of like high school where you've got, that sounds like my high school, where all the gangs used to come together. So guys for Cranhill, guys for Greenfield, they'd come together, they would hang about with each other. Then the Friday night they'd be like, oh, fucking see you later on, and it'd be a bit of banter. But then they would fight, they would actually fight. They'd come back on the Monday morning, there would maybe be a wee bit of friction on the Monday, but by the time of Tuesday rolled around, everybody was like back, and then it would just be the same again. But what's it like getting into an environment where everybody's segregated and fucking hates each other, and you can't speak to this guy? And
mate, honestly, right, see, my best mate, right, was a bit of a ticket, and honestly, he grabbed me, and he's like, yeah, wee man, you go down to that school and I swear you wear your fucking Burgos and the first cunt that gives you any cheat, you fucking smash him, I swear to God. And I was like, am I going to fucking jail? That's like the fucking Shawshank Redemption.
That's the advice you get going to jail.
I know, but you know what I mean? And I wasn't para until I fucking spoke to my best mate, and I'm like, fuck's sake, man, that's going to be fucking a bit intense.
Aye, because you're going to represent us, basically.
That, you know, he's fucking good in there and start smashing cunts, and I'm like, alright, you know what I mean? Fuck's sake.
Day one at a new school.
So, like, opportunely, right, I actually started 2 weeks before the Christmas holidays, so all the widos weren't there, it was just a few birds, and I ended up hanging about this wee bird and kissing on that, so I was like, it's quite a genteel introduction. But I remember, and I'm like, we'd just go for a munch at lunch, and they're like, oh, you can't go there, you fucking can't go there, and I'm like, how no? And they're like, oh, because this is their area and that's their area, and I was like, fuck's sake, we just used to go down the street and get whatever you wanted.
I feel no.
But then,
zones,
like,
man.
you know, how did I get that introduction, right? Well, I started at school, and the head teacher, who it was real inspirational, and he's reflected in the book, you know what I mean? But he was like, you're going to be very popular down here, I could just tell. He's like, if you think Airdrie's bad, welcome to Coatbridge, right? And I had a kind of introduction to one of the Langone ones, because I knew their cousin, it was a female that ran about with us, and she's like, my cousin will look after you, jump about with them, but you know, they don't wear name badges, you know what I mean? I couldn't just like, you thingy for the Langale toy, you know what I mean? And it's, I'm like, how the fuck am I going to meet these cunts? But basically, my head teacher came in, he's like, right, somebody wanting to show Graeme his next class, and one of his side ones, right, this big guy, man, he's a unit, right, he put his hand up, he's like, I'll fucking show him, and he went, yes, no problem, Patrick, you can show him. And I was like, fuck's sake, man. And this guy's walking through the corridor, right, and this other boy jumps up to him, and the two of them start fighting just in the corridor, right, and I'm just standing like a lemon, man, I didn't know what to do, I'm just like, fuck's sake. And then they split, right, and he walks away and he's trying to sort of sell it and he's fucking raging. And I was like, who the fuck was that? And he went, that's a wee fucking dick of Langell toy. And I was like, right, mate, boy. Nice one. So at lunchtime I just bounced up to the other boy and what's happening, mate? I'm fucking spaghetti for Airdrie, what's happening?
Sorry, I didn't give you honours.
I know, that's it. So that was my introduction, you know what I mean? It's a funny one.
I mean, we're talking for the last sort of 5 minutes about that, right? And just think about the fucking mental pressure and anguish that type of situation puts a 14-year-old boy under. Somebody that's going through fucking all sorts of other shit with hormones and stuff that nowadays is all sort of like you need to make sure that they're all right and blah blah blah, and you're having to go in and navigate 4 different gangs on a playground. Who's my pre-arranged person that's supposed to be showing me about? But that is it, man. Like, and
mate, it was nuts.
That is the type of shit that you do really grown up in a scheme. As Matt was saying earlier on, like constantly get that one eye, just that hyper awareness, and then when you move in, like when you started uni, for instance, like what. I mean, when I started university, I felt an element of sort of imposter syndrome. I didn't feel like I turned up my first day of uni with a Brazil tap, a tracksuit tap, and a skip hat on, and looked round, and Freshers Week and was like, "What the fuck?" Like I've went for being, this is all my pals. This is everything that I know is walking about like this, and football taps and trackies and Air Max and the hat. And then you walk in and people are looking at you and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? I'm an outcast here. Like, I'm
off the bat.
Straight off the bat, I'm an outcast, and I need to really change how I speak, how I think. Like, when I would tell people stories at uni, they'd be like, fuck off. Like, there is no way that happened. You'd be like, well, you're calling me a fucking liar then, mate, because I'm telling you.
Honestly, right, I remember fucking, like, driving up to uni, right? I had a wee Corsa, right? And I was driving up with all my shit, 'cause I was staying halls up Stirling, right? And I was like, right, I'm going to take my earrings out. So I took my hoop earrings out, and I was like looking at my clothes and all that, and I'm like, I don't know what cunts in uni wear, man. I don't know what to wear, right? So I'm like, just wearing a t-shirt and jeans, right? And I was sitting in my wee hall, right? And it was the guys that built prisons in Denmark that built these halls, right? So I was like, fuck, I feel like this is like day one of the sentence.
You know what I mean? Theme here,
that's what it felt like, man, right? So I was like, right, I need to go and introduce myself, right? And I was quite nervous, and I was on the phone to my pal, and she's like, just go and speak to him, you'll be all right, and all that. And I was like, right, no bother, I'm going to go in. I'm going in, you know what I mean? And I walk into the kitchen, and they're all like fucking drinking Bacardi Breezers, and you know what I mean, they look a bit softer on the edges, you know what I mean, these guys, and a few lassies, and I was like, how you doing, and all that, like subconsciously modifying my accent, sanitising it, like, nice to meet you, I'm Graeme, instead of like York troops, you know what I mean, so and then so I go round them all, I'm like, nice to meet you, I'm Graeme, and there was one guy sitting right, and he was fucking blazing, man. I was like, oh, he's started early, you know what I mean? I was like, alright, pal. And he's like, what's happening, mate? I'm fucking talking, you know what I mean? What's happening? And I was like, alright, mate.
Just instantly slipped straight back in.
I'm like, man, let's go and get a bottle of wine, man. So we walked in, got a bottle of tonic, and he's like, aye, man, I'm for fucking Knightswood, you know what I mean? And then that was that. Like, the two of us were best mates, we're still mates. I was out with him last night, you know what I mean? And just,
I think it's buzz that we're made to feel that way, that we need to like pure almost like code switch when we're in different environments that we'll know. But again, as young guys going out into these environments, like, how the fuck does, you know, essentially gang life in a satellite town around Glasgow meaningfully prepare you to go? I mean, did you consciously choose Stirling as a means to separate yourself from that world, or did it just happen that way?
Stirling was the only unit that would even give me a conditional, mate.
Oh, so right.
It was Stirling or fucking bust, you know what I mean? I'd actually went to like Stowe College and Nautical, like going to do like sociology, HND or something. That was my backup plan in case Stirling didn't work. But you know what? I remember like talking to lassies in my class, and I always felt awkward in uni, man, because I was like, I didn't know what to wear, and like all these like kids were fashionable, do you know what I mean? And I was like talking to nice lassies, and you tell they like you because you're, you know, a alright looking guy, but you just didn't click with them at all, mate, because you were just like feeling too awkward, do you know what I mean? Like, you didn't feel like you belong. Plus I was still using mega drugs, do you know what I mean? So like, I was like depressed when I was in first year, and I was taking mega blues, and I was sitting up all night, and like it was a scrape through, and I was like on a different fucking planet, do you know what I mean? I was like, it was a miracle I even hung on, do you know what I mean? And that was they were drinking their first Bacardi Breezers, do you know what I mean? And like trying to put try to work out Johnny on,
these are the stories that I would get the shit flung back when they would be like, what age did you have your first faggot? And you'd be like 8.
I know, exactly.
When did you first have a joint? 10. Like, oh, I took an Eckie when I was 11, and people were like, fuck off. Like, there is no way that that's true, but you're just sitting there just going like you're saying, you feel that sort of awkwardness, and then I think sanitising yourself is probably the perfect way of describing it, where you start to I did a bit where I started sort of speaking to girls again, like women, when you would be out and you would be like, well, where are you from? I'm for East End, and you would be like, I'm not going to say where I'm from, I'm not going to tell them what school I went to.
I'm for High Cantine.
Aye, exactly, aye.
No, I remember one
Hazel Grove, when they tried to
last
rename the schemes back in like the early 2000s, and the case get called Hazel Grove. I'm for Hazel Grove, like, aye, okay mate, no bother.
One lassie must have thought I was alright looking, right? She came up to me, and the way she introduced herself in the union, she went, oh, I'm whatever her name was. She's like, my granddaddy's the Lord Provost of Edinburgh. And I was like, me and you are not going to get on, man. I could just tell this is not going anywhere, sorry, man.
Some serious Romeo and Juliet shit happening there.
You know what I mean? It's like, fucking hell. I don't know, I just felt awkward all the time. I just didn't really feel like I belonged. My studying was like non-existent, you know what I mean? I was heavy skating through. You know, people were like, you got to clubs. I'm like, fucking clubs, you know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky I even got to class.
So like uni wasn't necessarily like a break for that
Not
previous
really,
lifestyle.
really,
It was,
to be honest.
if anything,
it was a
probably
worsening.
amplified it.
It was, because all I had was now a student loan. Right, I still work part-time, like I worked in shops and that, like retail, you know what I mean? So I was getting a wage. My mum was helping me out with my rent, right? And then I was getting a student loan, so I was fucking all of that money got absorbed in drugs. You know what I mean? And like I was seriously upside down, because when they were amping up the gas, me and my mate were fucking veterans of the streets. You know what I mean? We were both drug addicts, so that was like license to kill for us. Do you know what I mean? We went tonto. Do you know what I mean?
Something that we've spoke about previously with Dan McGarvey is this inability for people that come for the schemes to deal with getting money. Like, and I think student loans was the first time that I ever had over £1,000 in a bank account. Like,
Double it, you know what I mean? Double your first month, and then it was fucking like my mate used to laugh, right? Because in Stirling you had 10 classes, right, and you could miss 3 of them. So as long as you went to 70%, you would pass. I just took an extra 3 weeks before I even started. He's like, you're a fucking fan. He's like, you just go on holiday for 3 weeks. Everybody else is out buying books, and you go on holiday for 3 weeks and go upside down. And I'm like, oh mate, don't give me a grand then. Do you know what I mean? And a gaff and a grand, mate, is a dangerous thing for me. Do you know what I mean, man? I was fucking an animal.
How did you get through it?
Just struggled on, mate. Like, honestly, I was like, you know, all the hopes and fucking dreams of my family were in, you know, with me, mate. You know what I mean? That's
so you're the first to go to uni?
Aye, man. I
remember Same.
You know, like
the pressures of that are fucking crazy, man.
You know, so, but they thought this was going to be a light bulb moment, and this was all the suffering, right, had been worth it, because, you know, Graeme's gone to university now. He's a bright young man. He's going to have a great future, and see you later, son. And then it was a case of, that's it. You know, he's choosing life.
6 pints of cider done.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? If anything, drugs intensified. I got depressed. You know, mental health worsened. There was still violence to come. There was still lots of drugs. You know, I was involved with people who were selling heavy drugs, and you know, it was bad, man. It was bad years actually. It was some struggle.
Was there writing going on at the time? Was that something that went alongside that?
I was starting to toy about, like, I had started kind of like writing this kind of crimey novel. You know what I mean? And it wasn't. It was just an experimental novel, really. Do you know what I mean? But I had like. And when people say what was the spark, that was the spark. And I think I ironed out the creases in my process writing that. I'll never see the light of day. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause it was just experimental.
Yeah. Right.
But actually, when it came to that first time of writing the Young Team, you know, I was like, do you know what? I'm fucking ready to do something.
Something to actually like base it.
Aye. That was like my practice, you know what I mean? You know, and I seen it through, mate. Like, I did it, but it was just, you know, it wasn't what I wanted to do. And then, you know, after this 15 minutes of thinking about a film, you know, the Young Team, I was like, this is it, man. This is my fucking book. But I actually remember thinking, I'm like, do you realise what you're fucking getting yourself in here for? This is going to be some shaft. You know, and I kind of paused, and I was like, fuck it. You know, I've got fuck all else to do. Stuck in this flat. I've got no pals, no drugs, no money, nothing. This is it. You know what I mean? It was good, man.
Do you think writing the book saved you?
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. You know what I mean? It's like a journey of pure faith, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think religious faith and all. Do you know what I mean? Like, I put all my energy and all my pain and all my, you know, hope into this book. And people, some of my family used to start to say after about 3, 4, 5 years when nothing was happening, they're like, I think you need to, like, you need plan B. You know what I mean? They weren't like shitting on your dreams. They were just saying, like, this might no work.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you might need to go and get a fucking job, you know, and stop working in retail. And, you know, so I started selling cars, you know, to try and earn money and try and get a career, and, you know what I mean? Working in graduate jobs. But I never lost the faith, mate. I didn't even accept for a minute the Young Team wouldn't be published, and I think that's what you need. You need that total
something I
belief.
didn't have. I had the opposite, where I think because at a time when I tried it, I wasn't like comfortable in myself. Like, having a book that is, as yours, semi-autobiographical, it's got to be a lot of yourself that goes into it. You've got to have a real grip on yourself. You've got to have, like, you know, the ability to actually, even when you're examining harder times, to actually like push through and think of the wider goal, and that's definitely somewhere where I fell down. So having experience in that, man, like, oh, fucking power to you.
Absolutely,
man.
What gives you that? Like, that was I was going to try and ask this question earlier on, but like, what gives you that belief that you spend 5 years on something that you're passionate about? Like, I've found, and I've seen multiple mates, and I've been there, that passion doesn't always give you enough to get you through to this point that you're at right now. Do you know what I mean? Like how do you have that sort of like unwavering self-belief?
Mate, the only way I can describe that, right, is, see, when I started writing this book, I started saying to myself, this isn't a book, this is a war, right? And you need to keep fighting every single day. This is your war, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, after about 6 years, I'm like, fucking hell, this is like fucking Second World War. You know what I'm saying? This is never ending, man. It's never going to stop. But I just said to myself, even when it was hard, right, even when I was fucked, and moving down to London was one of the big challenges for me. Like, my mental health was poor at the time. I was in a relationship that wasn't working. I was very compressed in the city. You know, I was struggling to go on tubes and all that, struggling to get out in public. I was thinking to myself, man, this war will end one day and there will be peace, you know what I mean? But you know, you need to keep fighting and make sure that actual, you know what I mean, it works. So mate, it was a war.
So was it the progress with the book that started to turn that around, or was there a journey within yourself that, as you started to recognise this inability to go out, or this unease with yourself, that you addressed that, or was it, you know, intertwined with the writing?
I think, to be honest with you, right, like, the self-belief got me up right to the point where Gutter magazine in Glasgow messaged me, right, and they were like, we want a feature, and then I thought, this is a green light, because that's often the preamble to getting published. Right. You get published in a literary journal, you know, and that gives a green light to publishers, like, there's a bit of talent here, you know, there's something maybe that we should be looking at.
Yep.
Right, and that was 2018, right? That was 5.5 years in to starting, right? And that was a big one. That was a great moment of vindication for me.
Aye.
Right? And that was when it started to become real. And then a month later, I applied to the recruitment agency. Jonathan is my agent. And then he got back to me. He said, you know, and by this point, right, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but the Young Team was written as 3 books, right? It wasn't written as one. It was merged into 1 book, right? But it was 3 books.
Right, okay.
And I had remerged it and reworked it myself into 1 because it just wasn't going anywhere as a trilogy, right? So I cut it into 1, and he said, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I need the immediate commitment to cutting 50,000 words right away, right? And he's like, take a couple of weeks, because it's a big ask, right? Asking somebody to cut 25% of their work is a huge commitment, do you know what I mean? And I just phoned in, right, and my boss, and I says, I've got a chest infection, I'm not going to be in, right? I'm off for a week. And I took 4 days, right, and I worked 15 hours a day, and I chopped 56,000, right? And I went straight back to him, and I says, I've done it. I've done what you asked, 56 out of 200,000. And he said, that's fine. He signed me right away. He signed me immediately, you know what I mean? And he couldn't believe, like, how surgical I'd been to cut it. He's like, and I know you didn't have this pre-prepared. He's like, but actually, you revealed yourself to me by doing that. He said, because I know how fucking much you know this tech.
The work ethic,
100%.
That's it, man. I mean, if the guy ever needed proof that you were going to bust your balls to actually like produce a piece of work, then you've done it.
It is, man. Like, you know, inspirational for me is like rap music, right? Like Tupac and all that, and Eminem, and I, like, see, any moment I was fucking really struggling, I used to put that Lose Yourself on, man. I used to listen to it, and I was like, this is like your fucking moment, do you know what I mean? I was like, and don't think you're daft, because, you know, I'm not saying I'm Eminem or I'm Tupac, right? But like, they were just guys that were trying to tell their story, which is a street story, and then try to get it out, and then try to get into business. You know what I mean? And we see that in every film, man. Like, you know, Straight Outta Compton and all the films, do you know what I mean? It's like artists, then you get involved with an agent, and then a business, they try and make money off you, they try and exploit you, you do better, you keep moving up, and then, well, collapse or succeed. Don't know where it's going to go just yet. It's early days, you know what I mean? But that inspired me, do you know what I mean? And like, I still listen to it. Like, you know, they did the Spotify, what's your best tune, most listened to, it was Tupac, you know what I mean? I just laugh, because I'm like, it's always
nothing
been
even close, probably.
Nah. You know what I mean? So.
That's cool, man. I think I'd like to probably touch on the violence reduction side of things, because I know that with the book being sort of semi-autobiographical, I've, without having read it, making the assumption that a lot of the early days stuff, the school and the gang and the drink and the drugs and whatever else, is going to be in and around your own sort of personal experience. When we move into like the violence and, you know, the actual hangover of that violence, like getting arrested, like going
Yeah.
to prison, and what that exposes you to. That's something that you, I'm gathering for your Twitter feed, have a level of experience through the violence reduction unit, where you've actually went into places like Berlin.
I went to shots, but I've only been once, right? But it was talking about drugs rather than violence. But I have got an insight into all that, and we were talking about substance abuse, right? Predominantly. And I gave the figure to these guys that 42%, this is the official, right, that 42% of homicides are committed under the influence of alcohol, right? And one of the guys rebutted me right away, right? And he said, "Wee man, it's far higher than that," right? And he asked the group a question. There was 10 guys, right? And he said, "Were any of you sober when you committed your offence?" Not one hand went up, right? And I says, "Guys, thanks for sharing that," right? It was like, for me, I was never in a police cell or a police car when I was sober, right? Yep. I was never fighting when I was sober. And by the way, see, a couple of weeks ago, I tried to count up every time I had fought, and just in case anybody says you are never fighting your life, and I was just like, I want to actually get a number to give to people. Absolutely, I want to get a number, know what I mean, and put a physical. Aye. So everything from a punch to a full-on square go, getting battered off numerous guys and bottles smashed out your head and all that. 16, right? 16. Wow. And I was like, fucking hell, that's quite a lot, do you know what I mean? And I didn't even think I was one of the bad ones that way, like, but 16 instances of violence, do you know what I mean? And one punch can kill, whether it's you that gets it or you loads of people, crazy. One punch, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think,
very recently,
you don't realise that, and you don't appreciate that any time you lift your hands to somebody, the way they fall can be a culpable homicide.
Absolutely.
And you're a young guy that's, off your face on drugs, no having great mental health, the adrenaline that courses through your system when you're in the middle of a square goal. We've all been there, you know what I mean? Like, it's a really sort of fucking heady mixture.
It's a mentality, right? And I seen it with my own eyes and somebody else recently, right? And I was like, fuck, I'm like that. And do you know what it was? It was Jerry Cinnamon. And I don't know if you've seen the video. Everybody was talking about it, right? But do you know what it was? I jumped off the stage, somebody threw a bottle and they said, "What you doing? You think I'm a fucking dafty? I'll punch your fucking cunt in." And I was like, fuck, that was me. That's who I'm at. I was like, because it wasn't what he done, it was somebody done something to him and then he responded. My mom used to say, like, my mom was like, "I don't worry about you going and hitting somebody, I worry about somebody punching you and then you fucking killing them."
And you losing your shit.
You know what I mean? Like, and it, it's that adrenaline response, and I think, and it is, you know what I mean? And like, that's something like you need to talk about with yourself, and like anger management, and
absolutely,
like, I remember a bus driver nearly ran me over in London, right? Me and my girlfriend were getting into the car, this guy nearly fucking chopped me against it, and I was like, and I just lost it, man. I was shouting at him, and he like leaned out the bus and he's like, "Watch yourself, you fucking idiot," and I just lost it, man. I was like, "What a fucking psycho."
Still got that,
pure shouting, and my girlfriend's reaction. Like, that was pure embarrassing, you know what I mean? But
I think learning to deal with your anger is like one of, for me, especially for me, because it manifested itself in different ways, but learning how to deal with my anger was a huge part of like learning how to just recover, and whatever recovery we talk about, whether it be recovery or like growing up where I grew up, or the
healing
exactly,
healing.
That's a better word, like, but I always like, see, like in this, we're at Charing Cross, and I go to work in the morning and walk across there, and the amount of people that are rattling the horn. I was like to my missus, like, wonder what's going on with that guy, because there's
I used to be that guy. I was a prick.
Road rage is
I was a fucking prick.
Road rage is one of the things that I'm always pure. That is just somebody that is just so tense and so
internalised.
It just explode. It just explodes out, and then when you couple that with the toxic masculinity that you were talking about earlier on, where you're taught, don't ever let anybody disrespect you.
If somebody hits you hit them back. That's the mentality that you need to get that to fuck.
My dad used to say to me, "You hit them fucking first."
Exactly.
Because as soon as you get a sense that somebody's going to do something, you fucking go to them first.
I know. And do you know what? Like, it took me a long time, right? And I remember, I remember one of the moments, right, where I started to conquer this. And I was in uni, right, and Stirling had like a wee golf course on it, right, so we'd get a couple of clubs, and we were with a couple of Americans, right, and see this guy, it wouldn't say about you, I guess he was a lovely guy, right, and these guys shouted at him in the golf course, and I just had this moment, I was like, I'm going to take one of the golf clubs and I'm going to batter fuck at these guys, and I said to myself, calm yourself down, right, and it was like this moment, do you know what I mean, and I was like, just calm down, this is ridiculous, do you know what I mean, and I was like, no bother guys, like, sorry we're taking a wee minute, we'll just boil and then we just got on it, and I was like, do you know what, it was a powerful experience. Like, just calm yourself down, and it's almost like take a breath, and you say that and that kind of thing, take a breath, Because see, after a minute, I guarantee you'll feel better.
Really simple.
Remove yourself. If nothing else, remove yourself. Lose face, remove yourself. Know what I mean?
Absolutely.
See that losing face? It's that reputation, the ego. And by the way, humiliation's a great driver of violence. Somebody done this to my bird. Somebody tried to fire into my bird. Somebody said this about me. You know, my ego is now bruised. Somebody said something about my mom. I mean, so whatever it is, all these silly things. You're like, now I need some cosmic justice. I need to go and smash this guy. It's pathetic.
It really is,
it's
man.
pathetic.
That it just echoes everything that I was taught growing up about, because it was always that pure, don't let anybody say it into your fucking maw. See your
that was one that would be red mist.
Absolutely. And me too.
I know.
That just came down for my dad. And my dad grew up, and we've spoke about this many times in the podcast, my dad grew up in Duke Street, was born in 1945.
I know.
He came through a time...
beer pit.
Exactly, where if you did not stand up for yourself...
You were getting fucking terrorised.
Exactly.
And I didn't grow up with the Thompsons.
Royston, and there were different times, but I had the echoes of that in my ear. And then when I think back to the guys that I was on the playground with and went out and were drinking on the street corner with, they had the echoes of that. And then I'm just hoping that we can just move fucking past that.
I think we've reached. I think we must reach like a point in our evolution, right, where we, you know. And by the way, I'm going to go back to Trainspotting, right? See when he's in the club and he says the successful and the social sphere separate themselves, like sick boys banging into the birds and then Renton standing in the corner.
Aye.
And I think, by the way, violence is like that. And, you know, we're like stags fighting, man. We're clashing antlers to pull birds. Do you know what I mean? In real life. But we should reach a point where you say, actually, being an evolved masculine figure in 21st century Scotland means you can express your emotions. You can treat birds right. See, if somebody starts with you don't lose face because you say, do you know what, that's not for me. Right? You know, and that is modern masculinity. Like, that's where we should aim for. And that's what I want to teach my sons if I ever have any to be. You know, like, you can be the bigger man. And by the way, that my granny used to say, the bigger man walks away. And I says, no, the bigger man swings punches and batters folk. But actually, she was right. And it's an old saying, but it's very hard to reach that. And it's like an enlightenment almost. And that's what the young team's all about, by the way. It's that, you know, as he says, and later on in the book, you know, he talks about the boldness inside, and he said the boldness inside's all you've got. If people are going to smash you or people start with you, and he's like, just keep the boldness inside. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to put it out to the world, you know, and that's the journey that Ozzy takes. By the end of the book, we see Ozzy is that, you know, he's an evolved masculine figure now. He doesn't want to be involved in violence. He's an outsider. He doesn't take drugs. He's trying to help people, and he's dealing with trauma. And we see that manifest in the book, and we see it in his character. But then, you know, the whole book is about a progress to violence and then away from it. You know, and I won't spoil it for anybody who's not ready. But it's that journey that is at the heart of the young team.
Where are you in that journey?
Me? I think I'm past it, but like you say that, right? But see if somebody, you know, slapped my bird in the arse when I was walking there in town, would I leather them? I don't know.
You don't know.
It's terrifying, you know, like, I don't know, right? I would need to be at a very advanced stage to say, you know what I mean? Mon, remove ourselves. But that's the best thing you can do is, you know, because what advice would you give a young guy? Remove yourself, right? Because I don't know that guy. I'm never going to see him again. What if he goes and tells his pals? Who cares? Right? Remove your ego. It's very difficult.
That's exactly what happens is that people have these stories inside their head where it's like, he's going to go and brag about that, and then that makes me look like a mug.
Correct.
To people that you don't know.
It's these inner narratives. Narratives, by the way. You know, and he's talking about me. You know, he thinks I'm a dafty. And by the way, like, that moment in the young team's inspired by something that happened to me in school, right? Because it was a long story, but basically this guy had grassed on me, right? And I was suspended, he wasn't. And that was basically an echo of why I'd been expelled from my first school, right? For hitting somebody. And basically, I had no intention of starting a fight with this guy because I'd read Trainspotting, I had dreams of going to university, right? But people started to say, I'm going to hit this guy, right? And this guy heard. And then he come up to me and he says, folk are starting to say stuff, you know, but who's saying it now? And I remember thinking, I'm going to fucking batter you, son. You don't know how close you are to getting leathered right now, right? I was like, I'm going to batter you, right? And I knew I could, do you know what I mean? And it would start a whole fucking can of worms, right? And I thought, do you know what, fuck it. I just walked away, right? And I was like, that was powerful. I was like, what a moment. And then see the next day, a wee guy come up to me and he's like, I heard you shat yourself for that guy. I was like, oh my God. And that was the moment, because whatever I said to this wee guy, that wasn't the real test, wasn't the walking away, it was what I done next, right? Because see if I said to that guy, I'll fucking punch his cunt in, go and get him. That was it. was gone.
The moment you walked away would have been just completely
But then I was
nullified.
like to myself, right, you done it then, you can do it now. And every time you do it, it gets stronger. You know what I mean? It's the same way every time you turn down drugs, it gets better, it gets stronger. You get stronger.
Definitely.
It's a process. You know what I mean? But the ego is the, you know what I mean? That's the driver.
It's all shit you've just invented in your own head a lot of the time.
It's powerful.
It doesn't feel like it, but
that was
not
so
that age
interesting what
either.
you said, Paul, by the way. It's like in our narrative, man, we have these negative fucking narratives inside our body, and we go, you know what I mean, I'm a dick, I don't look good, you know what I mean, we pat ourselves down all the time.
They think I'm a bum.
I need to do something.
Man, shit happens in the blink of an eye inside your head. Like, whenever shit like that's ever happened to me, and I can only look back on this because it's so hard for you to like rationalise it in your brain. But I hear everything that my dad said to me, all the times when I've been embarrassed, no fault this guy, no fault fella, all that shame just piles on your shoulders like that. And sometimes you just black out.
I know,
you
like
just,
if you were
black
if you were a film director, you would have like a flashback scene, you know.
You wake up the next morning.
That's not just like everything you said there, like all your negative stuff, you know what I mean? And now it's just projected onto this guy's nose, you know what I mean? You need to hit that fucking target. But actual, like, how do we prevent violence? Like, we tell guys that, you know what, it doesn't matter what people think of you. It's up to you. You're the driver of your own destiny, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I would hope even books like yours are partly how we start to combat this, because when we talk about that lived experience and the truth of that lived experience is plain and obvious, like, that's how we learn, because we had the Crays and the Thompsons and the Campbells, and we read the books and we heard the stories from our dads and our uncles and the guy down the pub and all the rest of it, whereas like now, hopefully, this generation get to hear your story and get to hear stories like yours, where, you know, people actually are faced with violence, are faced with trauma, are faced with tough decisions and poor mental health and whatever else, you know, society throws at them, and is able to overcome and actually take what begins as a story of the pursuit of violence and becomes a story of the rejection of violence. You know what I mean? And I think that's the only way, or it's going to be one of the ways that we stop these sort of violent and sort of regressive cycles of behaviour in young men, is to actually say to them, no man, like, there's another way, and like, here's an example.
But what you've said there was just so eloquently put, mate, and it's just the absolute vision of the young team. Like, you've encapsulated it without even reading it. That is the dream of the young team. Is to give people a toolkit to say, do you know what, it doesn't matter what people think of you. Like, see if somebody calls you a dafty, they're going to be in the jail. They're not going to make it, mate. You're going to be the one that's got a good life, got a nice partner, got nice children, do you know what I mean? You'll have all the things you've ever wanted and you deserve them. And so do they, but they just don't realise it because they want to pursue the bad stuff.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter? Like, what? See that guy, you know what I mean? What if he jumped about telling everybody, I battered him, he shot it? I don't even remember his fucking name. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter, do you know what I mean? Like, his name, it's pointless now. And, you know what I mean? Like, in those split seconds, we make decisions that can change our own futures, our families' futures, our communities, and our personal futures.
Definitely.
Like, you know, I was asked by the Daily Record, what was the worst violence you were involved in? I said, well, I bottled a boy because he attacked me. You know, he punched me and then 6 of his mates attacked me, right? And he said, how do you feel about that? And I said, I'm very, very grateful the bottle never burst for both our sakes, do you know what I mean? For him and for me, do you know what I mean? And like 5 minutes later, they did burst a bottle and try to stab me with it, do you know what I mean? But that, you know, I could have smashed that bottle in the face, you know what I mean?
What the consequences of that would have been.
Injuries, you know what I mean? And like, it's terrible, do you know what I mean?
Would have
like,
been in the territory of that boy we spoke about who was a bit of a bam, who was looking to make a name for himself, and then the next thing he's got a machete in somebody's head, do you know what I mean? Those split seconds are life defining.
It is.
You know what I mean?
You know, life changing.
Absolutely. So what's next for you, mate?
I'm halfway through the next book, mate, Raveheart. It's based on
Raveheart, what a name. That's fucking brilliant.
It's based on rave culture, mate, and this is an exclusive, by the way, so it's basically the DJ in the time capsule is sacked and goes home and has a vision of Kelly Arena, who comes and tells him he needs to save the rave. So he
goes TTF or something?
He goes on a quest, right, to unite the heroes of Naughty's dance music.
Are you sure you're after drugs?
And trade secrets. What was I going to say? So mate, Raveheart, it's going to be good. It's half written, you know, I just need to get back on the wagon with it.
Love the sound of it, man.
It sounds fun. It's fun, mate, do you know what I mean? There's no drugs, there's no violence, it's purely just a celebration of the culture. And I've toyed with writing like the real story gangs. Like, I've actually got most of that down. Needs refinement, you know. I don't know what I want to do with that yet.
Yeah.
But you know, I had a wee play on To Live and Die in LA, the Tupac tune, To Live and Die in Lanarkshire. That's what I was thinking about. Like, you know, it's different. You know, people ask me, is this you? You know, is this you and your pals? And I think, God, if you were to read about me and my pals, you would realise it's not. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
like, it's real life is much stranger than fiction. Fiction, like, makes sense. Real life doesn't always. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and when you read that, you'll feel that it's a different vibe. It's a different energy. You know, like this is like well written fiction. You know, it's got a beginning, middle, and end. You know, the memoir's just like pure memories.
Life isn't like that.
It isn't, mate. It's not. It just doesn't work that way.
Sometimes the most horrifying stuff you just couldn't even fathom to
mate.
put into fiction. Because people would call it bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Most of the time. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. By the way, absolutely. And I've said that, you know, like I've experienced stuff that's so fucking unbelievable that you just couldn't write it. But I tried, you know what I mean? And actually when you read it, you go, wow.
Aye.
You know, but I don't know, that will come eventually.
No, I'm looking forward to Braveheart already. Sounds amazing.
We haven't got around the first one and we're already chewing about the
that
second
was
one.
like a wrap up, but just as like a last sort of question for me, do you find that the confidence that you're getting for things like Waterstone selling out of books, like the First Minister tweeting that she's reading your book, is that feeding like your creativity? Are you like writing more off the back of that? Is there like an energy coming off it?
No, mate, and I'll tell you why, right? Because I see the creative side in that, the business side is completely different, right? Like, for me, the creative stuff starts in the shower, and I know that sounds funny, right? Because I think my girlfriend just think I did something else, know what I mean? But it wasn't.
What's he doing in the shower
exactly,
for 45
man,
minutes?
right?
And
honestly, that's she used to say that, right? But honestly, like the sound of the water, right? And then I would start to like just like almost daydream, you know what I mean? I'd start to get wee scenes and characters, right? And how Braveheart started, right, was like I seen a guy eating a piece at the garage, right, and like firing at his boss, know what I mean, and like having this like midweek monotony is one of the big themes in there, like how we fucking hate our jobs, do you know what I mean? Like fuck, like we don't want to do what we do, man. This guy will use his rave to transcend their boredom, and I was like, this is a fucking character. What's his name, right? DJ Wally, you know what I mean? It's like, it sounds funny, do you know what I mean? And like, who's his sidekick? Mallorca Lee, you know what I mean? Filtrasonic, and the two of them are going on this adventure, and that's the dream, that's the fun bit. Like you just start to go into the dreams, and all the funny part comes, you know what I mean? And like, I've let people read a couple of bits, and they've been fucking pissing themselves, you know what I mean? They're like, mate, this is dynamite.
That's a good sign.
You know what I mean? And like, so mate, but that's a different place. Like, I want to go back there really, really soon, but I need to just like, everything's crazy, you know what I mean? Like, but it will come, and then I'll go straight back in.
You're in full promo mode at the minute.
It is, mate, and it's different, you know what I mean? You need to mind your P's, and like, I've been really honest with you guys and just chat, because we're just chatting like the way we talk, you know what I mean? But like, you guys are not the BBC.
Aye,
do you know what I mean? And like, it's nice to come to a space where we can talk as an artist, and like, as just a boy for Airdrie, you know, and talk frankly, you know what I mean?
And you, man, and you're more than welcome back.
No, mate, I'd come
when
back.
When Braveheart comes out, and any other time you feel like it, man, like, you know, you've went into your second printing today, which is a big one to congratulate you on.
Thank you, mate. That's really exciting.
You know, just want to say, like, best of luck with it. Like, we wish you all the success. And,
thank you, mate. Like, I hope you boys read it and identify. Like, the debate we've had tonight has been so fantastic. Honestly, it's like the actual deeper narratives that you just don't get to speak to a journalist. You know what I mean? But you boys get it, and it's because you're fair, you're local, you know. And by the way, there's boys in every city in this whole country that would get it. They might not speak the way we do, they might not look the way we do, but they'd get trauma, you know what I mean? They get the pain, mate. So
there's themes and whatever else that are relevant to boys in Manchester and London.
Travels, you know what I mean? The message is good, and the message will travel, do you know what I mean? It's just like we need to just the promo stuff is the gateway to doing all that stuff. So it's important to commit to doing that, you know what I mean? Like, that's the vehicle that drives the message. You know, and I, obviously, sales, you know what I mean? That's a business, do you know what I mean? They need to make money. Obviously, I need to make a living. I've gone full time. You need to eat, mate. Fuck, you know. That's what, you know, my mum said to me, like, you need to remember, like, this is a business for you now. You know, I know you're passionate about doing charity work, and you are, and I am, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
But she's like, you need to balance that with trying to do paid opportunities, or you'll not be able to. You'll be back selling cars 6 days a week, and you'll be exhausted.
Self-care,
man.
Always,
I know, mate.
It's thanks for coming in, man.
No, listen, pleasure, man. Absolute pleasure.
Amazing talking to you, man. And like, I've got this. I wanted to read the book. I get sent the copy for your agent or whoever was engaging me. But I've got this 12 books in 12 months fucking shit that I've committed to.
You got a copy already, you cunt?
And I got it a couple of days ago. I've not been sitting on it or anything, but I've got this 12 books in 12 months. But my April book's been pushed back, and I'm going to read this in April. Unfortunately, I was halfway through my February and then into March when I got it. So
I'm getting him with his copy.
So Matt's going to read it first, and then I'm going to read it.
I hope you enjoy it. Like, honestly, man, you get it. You boys get it. You're going to enjoy it.
I read the first 20 pages and was like, I get this, man. I know this is.
So, mate, like, people in their 40s and all that, mate, like, much older than me, for different places, different times, are like, this is reliving my youth.
Aye.
You know what I mean? And it's because like things don't change. That's what you're saying. It's cyclical. Specificities will change, right? Specificities, but actually the real story doesn't change.
No.
And we need to try and change it.
Definitely.
Absolutely, mate. Awesome, man. That's
Right.
a good note to end it on, man. So thanks again for coming on.
Yep.
Thanks a million, guys. Thanks
Cheers.
for having me.
Lightning falls when there is panic in the sky. Thunder calls when all but fear is left to die. You tell it like it's fantasy, something that you're never going to be. Same old story every day. There's just one thing that I have to say, that if we believe, if we trusted you, then I don't know why you say the things you do. You'd see a whole new way to be, giving honest answers and not those lies to me. Empty halls now filled with echoes of their past. On our stars they lived each day like it's their last. You tell it like it's fantasy, something that you're never going to be. Same old story every day. There's just one thing that I have to say, that if we believe, if we trusted you, then I don't know why you say the things you do. You'd see a whole new way to be, giving honest answers and not those lies to me. I can tell that you're on a mission just to break the walls down time and time again. If it wasn't true, would it be okay to break the walls down time and time again? That if we believe, if we trusted you, then I don't know why you say the things you do. You'd see a whole new way to be, giving honest answers and not those lies to me. Believe, if we trusted you, then I don't know why you say the things you do. You'd see a whole new way to be, giving honest answers and not those lies to me.